So I picked up this KREG pocket hole jig and clamp from Amazon, and I think it was around $39 or so. Wasn't too bad at all. So what I wanted to do with this was I had a 52-inch toolbox, and you can see the finished picture right there. What I did was I have a 52-inch toolbox, and didn't have a hutch, and I have not seen one that was 52 inches, and I just decided to make one. It was fairly cheap, so I wrote down some dimensions, minus the thickness of the 3/4 inch plywood, which is what I used. And this is sanded 3/4 inch plywood. I think it ran me, if I'm not mistaken, around $200 for all the wood, the pegboard, and everything. So I'm starting to drill the pocket holes, and again, I had two side pieces that were 18 inches deep, I believe, and I have to refer to the drawing, but I think they were 18 inches deep, and I just used the 48-inch plywood size, so the hutch is 48 inches tall. I didn't feel like doing the extra cuts, and I didn't mind the extra height to the hutch. So I'm just putting all the pocket holes in here, and it's simple as clamping it down up against the little kind of a break on the back of it. It's got a little deal you just push up against, and you mark it with the size of the wood on the bottom of it, and you just clamp it to the wood. Again, I'm clamping this about 2 inches from each side, so it's just kind of uniform. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything. I just wanted the holes pretty much in the same areas. So what I did then is I took, and after I got all the pocket holes done, I started to assemble all the pieces together, which was pretty easy to do. So I ended up doing a voiceover on this because didn't realize it was a hot day, working in my garage as usual, and I really didn't have I needed to have fans running, and also I needed to have a radio kind of giving me some a little bit of gumption to get the product done in a hot day. And had got off. I was off work, and I figured I'd go ahead and try to knock this out. This project took I would say about 3 hours to complete, and it's not painted yet, so hopefully I will have it painted pretty soon. I just got a paint sprayer in that I'm gonna use it to try and paint it, especially with the pegboard on it. So this wasn't difficult at all. Getting the sanded plywood was probably a smart thing to do, because this stuff, other than the edges kind of fraying a little bit when you're cutting it, because I was just using a hand saw. So I have a 18 gauge Porter Cable 18 gauge finish nailer, and it actually has an adapter. I did a video on it, but it actually has an adapter on it that is a DeWalt adapter. So I have all DeWalt tools. So I was using the finish nailer to just kind of get it together here and there, just kind of hold it together until I got some screws in it, and then I was started to countersink some holes, and then I used sheetrock screws for the the assembly of this box. So then I had to start putting the pocket holes. I already had the pocket holes in the bottom of the side pieces. I just didn't I forgot to do the back piece, and I wanted to make sure they were kind of squared away. So here I'm just clamping it down. Didn't really even measure it too much. which is, there's the spots that I was telling you about in the back. So you just kind of put it up against that. It doesn't move. It's got a little rubber grip. And I just kind of didn't really even measure it. I just put it up at the side and kind of clamped it down and put my pocket hole screws in there, which is pretty nice. This one, there's a couple different versions of this KREG jig, and my buddy Mike actually has the one that actually kind of stands up. So here I'm starting to just put drywall screws in there. At first I started to countersink them, then realized the wood was pretty soft, so I didn't even really need, it was actually countersinking them for me. So I just went around the whole thing and buttoned it up with drywall screws, which was fairly easy, and there's a couple of areas where I decided to go ahead and drill pilot holes, but for the most part I didn't even use any glue or anything like that, so I'm starting to get it on to the toolbox here, and I probably should have got some help, but I don't remember how much it weighs, but just basically four or five pieces of plywood. So just kind of moving everything around and kind of manhandle it up there. Kind of hurt my back after I was doing this. So when you're doing this kind of stuff, just be careful. And basically, I didn't really even pick it up. I just kind of pushed it. But I have a bad back, so it kind of wore me out. At the end of the day, I was pretty sore. So once I get the hutch up there, then all I got to do is basically screw it in and attach it. So I'm starting to line it up with the edges and get the pocket hole screws in there to hold it. And they actually went down into the wood, almost to the bottom of the wood. So using the 1 1/4 pocket hole screws worked out really, really well. And again, they're gauged towards whatever size of wood that you use. So once I got all the screws in there, it wasn't too bad. So I'm just finishing up getting it screwed down to the wood top of the toolbox, and it worked out really, really well. The measurements were right on. I've always used the idea of measure twice or 3-4 times and then cut once. So luckily my measurements were correct and everything went together pretty darn easy. So it's kind of showing you the pocket holes. Whoever it was to design the pocket hole jig is a genius, because that thing is really, really well. You've used my buddy Mike's pocket hole jig. We've used it on a couple different projects, and it's pretty easy. So what I needed, since I was going to put pegboard inside this thing, I needed some backing to go back behind the pegboard. So I was basically just holding that piece up and then measuring it, and then I was going to cut it in half. So the strips along the edges of the pegboard are about 1.5 inches wide, and again about 48 inches high. Or I think it was 47.25, because of the 3/4 inch plywood sits down inside there. So just a little shorter than that. So turned out really, really well. So I'm just finishing putting in all the kind of the backer boards for had to kind of recut one. Basically, this stuff's gonna go behind the pegboard to keep the pegboard out from the back wall. And if you know done pegboard, you know what I mean. I could have gotten some spacers, but I couldn't find some in the timeline that I wanted. So again, I'm just nailing it in. So I was kind of getting new measurements for the pegboard. I wanted to make sure the pegboard fit in there real nice and even, so I didn't have to like pound it in or anything. If you've ever used pegboard, some of it can kind of fray and break if you push it too hard. So I just wanted to make sure my measurements were pretty well. And I'm just cutting kind of setting up the pegboard to cut. Nothing real fancy here, just super easy. Transferring my measurements from what I took on the hutch to my pegboard and making some marks, and then I'm going to find a way to separate it and separate it from the stuff underneath it and cut it. So I'm just starting to cut the pegboard, and again, it's pretty easy. It's nothing. It's not rocket science or anything like that. Just use my DeWalt little 4.5, I think it's 4.5 or 4.25 inch circular saw. It's pretty much all I use now. Everything I cut, and you see I had a little catastrophe. My little work surface fell. I said, screw it. I just left it there for a while. And once I got the pegboard in there, I wasn't too worried about the nails that I put in on those backer pieces earlier because I knew I was going to put some screws in there. So I'm just screwing the pegboard into the wood. And the drywall screws that I'm using, I like drywall screws for pretty much everything. So I'm just using drywall screws, and they're long enough to catch the wood in the back, the plywood in the back. So it's going all in and secured and everything. Because I've loaded up a fair amount of tools on this thing, so I still have to take it all apart to paint it. I'm going to paint it black to match the toolbox, and probably make the edges silver to match the silver on the toolbox. But in due time, I got lots of other projects I got to get to. So now everything is secure. I've got to get it in place over on the other side of the garage where I normally keep my toolbox. And you'll see I've got a lot of stuff in that side of the toolbox because there's a void there about 3 feet on that side of the garage. So that's where I keep all my toolboxes and stuff. I can't fit my truck in the garage, so the right side of the garage is for my YouTube stuff. And you see, I finally got it in place, and it took me a little while. Now I wanted to put a board across the top to kind of hide a little light fixture I was going to put up on the top. So it's just super, super easy. Nothing, like I said, I just even picked this piece of 2x2 that I found in my stash. It was actually, I had to use clamps to clamp it down because it was, as you can see, I'm using like a little gardening hoe to get everything situated on there and get where I wanted it. And I'm just it had a little bit of a bow to it, so I was just going to screw it together anyway. So it took the bow out of it once I attached it from the top of the hutch with some screws and some clamps. It actually held really well. And the light fixture I used, I put behind that. So it all worked out really well. All in all, I think, like I said, I think I spent right around $200. I think, if I remember correctly, the plywood, the sanded plywood, is sanded on both sides. I think they were like $58 or $60 a piece. And then I get some screws and stuff like that. And I had some already. You can see I'm kind of cleaning everything up. I don't like to leave a mess and get it all over the place, so I try to keep a vacuum around and keep everything cleaned up. Plus, it's a little easier. I get a lot of allergies and stuff from dust and mold and all that stuff. So, and you can see on my arm, I actually rubbed up against something and my arm started to bleed. So I didn't want to take any time to go hunt down a Band-Aid. So I wrapped a clean rag around my arm and then wrapped tape around it. I've done that many. No way! Here's a couple of finished pictures of the project. If you're getting good value out of my channel, I appreciate it if you go down and hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. You get notified when I post a new video or go live.
I'll be back.
This is Tim Air, 2 Man back at you.